Hello, welcome to our series. Today we are going to talk about essential oils for pets. And I used to have a dog. I love him so much. Here's a picture, young husband, young me, and my dog and my nephews. He lived with us for 17 years in a time where I didn't know anything about essential oils. And I'm sure they are so good for humans that it would be so good to use them on pets as well. And because I'm not an expert there, I have invited Allison. She's had a dog for a few years and has been using oils for a few years. So tell us about yourself, please, and go ahead with the presentation, Allison, please.
I love it. Thanks, Leah, for having me on tonight. I have had a dog for more than a few years. I've grown up with dogs. So Marzipan is my doggy number 5. Oh, she's looking. Let me give her a little, see, she'll let me show her. There she is, Marzi. I think she's a little sleepy. But I had my aha moment. So I used oils for myself. And then I had a different dog, Hunter, at the time when I started using oils. And Leah, you may or may not remember this story, but shortly after I started using them, there was a moment where Hunter was my certified therapy dog, and he was on an airplane with me, and he shook his head, and the next day he had blown a blood vessel in his ear. So his ear, he had an ear hematoma. So the ear had swollen, and we had just moved back to Chicago, and I was living in Miami. So his vet was actually in Miami. So I started calling all these veterinary offices, asking them what to do. They were telling me they were going to have to put a stent in his ear, drain the blood. The procedure was going to be over $1,000. And I just didn't even know what to do. So one of the girls at the time recommended an oil vet, and you could do an emergency consultation with her. You can no longer do that, but I'll share with you later how you can have access to her. And I did an emergency consultation, and she said, calm down. You don't need to have surgery. Just you're going to put helichrysum and geranium on his ear and ice. And she said, the only thing is you have to do it very consistently. And I said, no problem. So I overnighted the oils, and, helichrysum is a little more expensive, but when you're looking at $100 worth of oils versus $1,000 veterinary bill and not going to the vet in the time versus being in your home, I was like, let me give this a try. And in a week, it was totally gone. He was fine. We never had surgery. It saved me $1,000 and the stress and everything else. And I was like, wow, these really work. So I started using them in other capacities for my animals. So when we got Marzipan, she was on heavy anxiety medications. I'm sure many of you have rescued a dog before, and she was a rescue. And I transitioned her straight onto lavender essential oil and copaiba in her food. And it was like, wow, we can do that instead of giving her medication, and she was fine. So it's really unique and interesting to have a tool that's natural for our animals that we can use, not just in ourselves. And a lot of it comes down to dilution. So we're going to talk about that tonight, which ones are safe, which ones are not. My area of expertise is definitely within doggies versus cats, but you can for sure use them safely with cats. I know that becomes a big question for many people about how and what they can diffuse. So we will go into that a little bit with cats.
So far you've mentioned that you've used the oils topically for the ear and then in her food for eating.
Yeah, we'll go over that more. Yeah.
Nice.
Did you have a question about that though?
No, that's fine. I didn't know that story. It's amazing.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I feel like we had met already. So I thought maybe you knew, but maybe not. Might have been too early on in my oil journey. But yeah, it was pretty amazing, honestly, to watch it go down after being told by, I think, 3 vets total that he would need surgery. So I was like, wow. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen.
It's very interesting because my sister's dog had the same problem here.
Oh, the ear hematoma.
Yes, and it was one ear, and I was there, and I also said, you can try some oil, but we just took lavender because we didn't know it better. And after applying it once, of course, it was not to see that something was better. I had to leave, and the husband of my sister went to the vet, and he said the same. He might need surgery, and he drained the ear, and it was a lot of pain for the dog to do that procedure. That's what they told me later. and
Mhm.
it took long. They didn't do the surgery though, but they drained the ear a couple of times.
Yeah, that is very interesting. Well, now you know what to do next time. It's helichrysum and
Yeah.
geranium. And I also
Yeah.
had to diffuse, believe it or not, of all the oils, she told me to diffuse juniper berry, which is very unique in the room. So
Nice.
I'll never forget that, because exactly what you're describing was the route I was supposed to go, which was to drain the ear and then put a stent in. And then if it didn't work, then you go to surgery. So I was so grateful. And every vet told me that until I got on with Janet Rourke. And she was like, nope, this will be fine. I kept asking her, I was like, are you sure? Are you sure that this is going to work? And she was like, I'm so sure. I've seen this many
Yeah.
times. And I was like, okay, I'll trust you. But I will say, just like with any other oil protocol, I had to be extremely consistent, you know?
How's the consistency in there? Is it once a day, 3 times a day?
Oh, I would have to look back in my notes. I think this was 2018 that this happened, or 2017. I want to say off the top of my head, it might have been like 4 times a day or 5 times, so many times. But the dilution that I was using, the dropper was maybe a 5 milliliter dropper, and I think I only put 1 or 2 drops in there of essential oil. The rest was carrier. So with dogs, you want to heavily dilute, and I have a dilution chart that I'll share. Yeah, but to get the exact number of times a day, I have to look back at my
Okay,
my notes for you.
sure.
So
Just in case we need it.
I know. And she will go over again the resources at the end, but she's got a great Facebook community group that if anyone is ever in an emergency or wants to, I would join that, because she'll have all the most updated information constantly in there, versus like that information she gave me was 5 years ago at this point. So maybe there's something even newer, especially
Yeah.
as new oils come out, like I don't think Copaiba was out at the time. So you might
Okay.
get better things.
Nice.
All
Thank
right.
you.
So yeah, of course. That's how I really realized oils. That was my moment with the dogs where I was like, whoa, I can't believe this. Um, so essential oils made easy. We are going over oils for dogs tonight, but I do want to, just in case anyone's watching this back and doesn't know about essential oils, I want to go over this very briefly, because even though we go over this in our presentations and discussions with us as humans, a lot of this applies to our pups as well. So 3 cool things about essential oils: one, they're safe. When we're talking about the safety of essential oils, we are strictly talking about doTERRA. You will see many things online about oils and reactions with pets. And a lot of that fear that people are experiencing is very real, and it's coming from oils that are not pure. So someone hears, for example, a story like I just said to everyone, right? And then they run to Whole Foods and they're buying helichrysum there, and then you're putting it on your dog, and then your dog is having a reaction. And the dog is not having a reaction to helichrysum, the dog is having a reaction to the fillers in the helichrysum. So the only industry regulation for your oils to be pure is that, or to be labeled pure, is that 10% of the bottle be pure. The rest can be fillers, chemicals, pesticides, and then the company can label it however you want. So with doTERRA, we're really, really focused on the transparency about how the oils are produced, where they're produced, the correct timing of when the oils are pulled, or the plant materials are pulled from the earth. And then there's third-party testing that's done not with doTERRA, that you can look on a website called Source to You, and you're able to get all of the third-party tests there, which I love. So we do want to make sure, when it comes to oil safety for your pets, that we are strictly, and tonight all the recommendations I'm using, I only would trust doing with doTERRA. That's a very, very strong recommendation. I just would never give my dog another oil brand, and only bought through doTERRA's website or Leah or someone like that, not on Amazon. Okay, so essential oils are literally just plant extracts. They come from the seeds, bark, stems, all of that, and then they're distilled down. And what's really neat about them is they're 50 to 70 times more powerful than herbs. So we can see a lot of different results because of the strength of them. The second thing is they're super effective, and a lot of it has to do with the fact that they're oils. So a lot of times this little diagram that you see is the cell diagram, and the cell has an oily membrane that surrounds it. Anything water-based, so when you go to the doctor and you ask for medication, a lot of times, or an antibiotic, a lot of times they're water-based. they can't penetrate the cell wall, which means that you don't see results. But because oil and oil mixes, it can penetrate the oily cell membrane and get to the center of the cell, which means we're going to see results. And then they're affordable. So like I was just saying, I mean, I really can't give a better story than that, because sometimes we look at an oil bottle like helichrysum and we're like, wow, $70 for one essential oil. But the truth is, like I just told you, I put 1 or 2 drops of that helichrysum. So we're talking about pennies at that point, maybe $1 for, no, it's not even $1 for a drop of helichrysum, but you are talking about pennies for that drop of helichrysum in my bottle that then saved me $1,000 and the stress and all the exhaustion of going through the process of veterinary care with the dog. So imagine what it would mean to only spend, you know, $100 to be able to rescue your pet in that moment. Yeah. So since I had that experience with helichrysum, I always tell every pet owner, I'm like, always keep helichrysum on hand. It's one of the best for bleeding. So that's why I also worked with the ear hematoma, since it's blood related. But if your pet ever gets cut or something like that, you're going to want helichrysum on hand to stop the bleeding, which is why I always say that's kind of an emergency case oil versus like a daily oil, but it's one that I stress heavily when it comes to animals.
Also for humans.
Yes, this is true. Also for humans.
Allison,
So this is
a little thing. There is I can see myself in the little screen. Not you,
okay.
but myself. No, I don't know why.
I don't know if I know how to change that.
You see I'm surrounded in green?
Yeah, I can get rid of you, but I can't change you.
See the speaker? I don't know. No, I still see myself. Okay.
Well, I can get rid of you.
Just
like
because
that.
it's better to see you talking than me.
It won't let me switch to me for some reason.
Hmm.
So let's go over safety tips and areas to avoid. So with your pup. So one important thing is to let your dogs choose. And that might sound kind of silly, but it is true. They know. So the best way you want to do that is you're going to hold your oil bottle up to your dog. If Marzi would wake up, I'd show you, but you're going to hold it up to their nose. And then you are going to, oh, see, this is why you're saying me, because I'm holding the bottle showing you. You can't even see. But you're going to hold the bottle to the dog's nose with the cap on, and you're going to let them smell it. If they turn their head away, that means they're not interested in that oil. If they start licking their lips, they're interested. A dog like Marzi, who's super scared, I will say she'll turn her head at every oil, but she will still lick her lips at the one she wants, even in those moments, versus turning her head and walking away. So you'll know your dog. Most dogs won't just turn their head for every oil. And that's going to be a good oil for them to diffuse or something like that. They're going to tell you what they want. So you can show them several different oils. You never, ever, ever want to apply essential oils to the eyes, nose, or inside the ears. I think, you know, dogs have a lot of ear issues. We'll show you how to take care of them, but you do not ever want to apply them to the inside of the ear. And you want to use care when putting them around their face, because their sense of smell is insanely strong. And we want to remember that they're going to smell that, you know, the strength will be many times our strength of what we can smell. So be careful. Don't apply the oils to the tips or long-eared dogs, as the oils can get into their eyes. So you don't want them to like shake their head and then the oils get in their eyes because it was on their ears when they shake. So when you're using your oils for yourself, keep your furry friends in mind. So for example, tea tree oil is not the best for dogs. So if you know your dog is going to lick your feet, for example, and you apply tea tree on your feet, put socks on, or make sure it's something that they cannot then lick. Most of the time when we talk about oils that aren't safe for them, we're talking about them actually ingesting them, not it being on you, which is a common question I get.
Question
Yeah.
that this morning. How do you clean their ears with essential oils? Is there a dilution that you can use and it's superficial?
I do have a DIY at the bottom that I'll show you that has to do with the ears, but I actually don't use essential oils to clean my dog's ears. I would use colloidal silver sprayed on a cotton ball, and then I would wipe their ear with it. But I wouldn't just put an essential oil in their ear.
My friend did essential oil in a cotton ball or piece of cloth diluted with fractionated coconut oil. I think it was lavender and I don't remember which ones, but that's the way she would be careful not to drop any oils inside the eardrum, right? But all around and inside, yes, she would on the
Yeah,
parts.
personally, I would not clean my dog's ears with essential oils because I would only put them, I have the recipe down below, so I'll get there, but I would only do it for like an ear infection or something. But to
Okay.
add the oil unnecessarily, I wouldn't do. We really don't want to mess, dogs are different. For example, we don't want to bathe our dog every day because it really messes with the pH of their skin. So
Yeah.
a lot of times it's better to let them be. So I wouldn't clean their ears unnecessarily. If you had to clean their ears for like a ear infection or something, then I would move to colloidal silver.
Okay. Thank you.
So yeah, of course, the 3 ways to use doTERRA essential oils with your pet. So the first way is going to be aromatically. This can help with their mood. So if you have an anxious dog, or if my dog hates all the fireworks that have been going off, so definitely diffusing for them. It also can help keep their air quality really good and clean, and make sure that they can, the main thing too safety wise with this is make sure they can leave the room. Don't lock them in the room with the diffuser, especially if they've never smelled that oil before and it's a small room. We wouldn't want to do that to them. So, oh, this should have had the other ways. Aromatically. Let me see if I have topically. Okay, I do. So one of our favorite oils to use aromatically is lavender because it can help with seasonal threats, stress and anxiety, burns, hot spots, insect bites and stings. So for the seasonal threats, you're actually going to put it in their food. You're going to do 1 drop of lavender, lemon, and peppermint, just like you would do for a human, but you're going to do it in their you're going to drop it straight into their kibble. And then if they're a dog who will turn away because they're not maybe as food driven, you can mix it into some peanut butter and give it to them in a Kong. For stress and anxious feelings, you'll want to go ahead and diffuse the lavender. So a lot of times dogs who have separation anxiety, this is really great for them when you're leaving the house to kind of set them up with that. Burns, you apply it to their skin. Hot spots is on their skin, all diluted with, and stings and bites is all going to be diluted with coconut oil. Topically, you want to always dilute with coconut oil. So the little bottle you see is what's called fractionated coconut oil, which is the same as your cooking coconut oil, but the fats have been extracted so it stays in liquid form. So this is going to be great for applying topical. And then here's the dilution chart. You'll want to screenshot this, save it. So this is going to be really important because it's based on your dog's weight. So depending your dog's weight is going to depend on the amount of essential oil that you're placing in. Remember, you can always take away, you can always add, you cannot take away. So we always want to start with less. So if you're ever in doubt, just start with 1 drop of essential oil to the 4 drops of carrier oil or even smaller. And then from there, you can always increase if needed. So digestin is one of my favorite topically for our pups. A lot of times we notice our dogs have maybe some digestive issues. They're having diarrhea, vomiting, and applying this to their abdomen is super, super soothing. You'll just want to mix it with the coconut oil. They can also have this one internally, but I've had a lot of success using this topically. My prior dog Hunter that I was discussing before, toward the end of his life, he had a lot of digestive issues. And the only way I could get him to move around was by actually putting digestin on him, on his belly, which would help him calm down. So it's one of my favorite. Oh yeah, and motion sickness too. If you have a dog that's not good in the car, it's going to be really great. And then internally with the dog, so you can definitely put in a veggie capsule, which is a clear capsule made of vegetables, open, put the drops in, close, and then they can swallow. But what I tend to prefer is not that. I would put it on their food. You can, if you can, they'll let you, you can put it under the tongue. You can put it in some coconut oil and let them lick the coconut oil. And then my other favorite way to do this is, like I said before, in a Kong. So like with the fireworks, I love to take a Kong, put peanut butter in, add a drop of copaiba and add a drop of lavender. And that can be very, very soothing for the pups. Or if you use a lick mat. Peppermint is another great one for digestive support, overall discomfort. Like I said, with seasonal threats, you'll do lavender, lemon, and peppermint. It's also great for reducing the temperature. So when it gets those really hot days, and you guys definitely experience this in Florida, I carry around a spray bottle of peppermint with water. And while I spray myself with it, I actually will spray my dog. So I'll spray her on the back, and that can help cool her down as well. And then I do have a little bug spray recipe for you down here. So a natural bug spray that you can put for your pups that's super safe for them is going to be peppermint, lavender, lemongrass, citronella, and lemon eucalyptus. And also, if you want it even easier, TerraShield, just when camping, and took Marzi. It's really great for keeping ticks off the dog and fleas and all of the bugs. So I do use the TerraShield a lot on her as well. And you can get it free this month if you are a loyalty member. So you can talk to Leah about that. Copaiba and frankincense. And this one says turmeric, or has turmeric in the picture as well, but these are going to be incredible for supporting their cardiovascular system, immune support, digestive, urinary, all the things I've listed. The main thing I want to say about these 3 oils, so we talked a little bit before about how I said helichrysum is some. Sorry, I just got a giant tornado warning in my ear. So the main thing I want to say about the helichrysum, you guys can hear me, right?
Yes.
Okay, I wasn't sure because my phone cut
Yes.
out for a second. Okay, so the main thing I want to say is helichrysum is like an emergency oil, but then sometimes we have oils that are going to be daily oils that are going to be great preventatives. So a lot of times you hear about cancer with dogs, or you know, them getting lumps, or a lot of these big things that are listed here. So these are going to be your preventatives. Of course, I cannot say, we're not doctors, like, you know, I can't predict the future and say this is 100%, but if I want to give my dog the best chance, personally, I would add it to their food every day as a great preventative for all the things. So frankincense is an incredible anti-inflammatory. Copaiba works with the nervous system. Turmeric is also going to reduce inflammation, you know, so it's going to help with a lot of the support that dogs need in general. So you're just putting 1 drop in their food. Like I said, in the morning. It's a really big dog, you could put a 2nd drop in the afternoon, but I'm talking, when I say really big, probably like around 100 pounds. Anything under, I would probably just do 1 drop of each. And then adaptive balance and serenity. These are all going to be topical oils only. None of these are internal. So just a quick reminder, when you're looking at your oil bottle, if it does not say supplement facts on it, and it does not say for internal use, you cannot ingest it and your dog cannot ingest it. So you'll see on adaptive balance and serenity, all of them just have ingredient listings. So you'll only want to put these on topically or in the diffuser. So these are going to be your best go-tos for relaxation, tranquility, restful sleep, easing the anxious feelings, changes in the home, vet appointments, fireworks, construction. The reason I also talked about lavender before is because they can take that one internally. So that one would be my go-to for internal, whereas these would be my go-to for topical. All right, oils not recommended for dogs. So wintergreen, manuka, birch, Douglas fir, thyme, clove, and oregano. And then not recommended for cats. I'm not going to read the whole list, but it's here. The main thing to know again is you can use these oils on yourself. So I absolutely use tea tree on myself. I just don't let Marzi lick me in that area. Or you can use clove or oregano, but again, just make sure that they are not licking you with those. And I will say this also with the citrus oils under the cats, I have plenty of friends who diffuse a lot of these oils successfully with their cats. They're just not letting them ingest them. All right, so another big thing I want to talk about with the fur babies is, this is super important to always talk about with dogs, but they are walking all over your floor and then licking their paws. And we don't do that. We don't lick our feet after walking on our floor, right? But so what we put on our floors and what we clean our homes with, and also their sense of smell, like we talked about, is so strong, is even more important with our dogs. There are so many times I see people's dogs who have allergies and it's from a Glade plugin that they have, or it's from the chemicals that they're using on their floor. So we really, really, really want to make sure that we are using clean products. And I fully trust doTERRA when it comes to that. So I use their On Guard cleaner concentrate to clean my floors. I use the Abode line. Diffusers are going to be much better than any Glade plugins. But the number of industrial chemicals used in household items is 84,000. The number that have been tested by the FDA are 200, and the number regulated by the FDA are 5. The last time the federal chemical safety law was updated was 1976. So when you go to the grocery store, when you go to the store and you're shopping for your cleaners, oftentimes we believe that those products on the shelf have been tested and that they're approved and that they're safe for us. And the truth is they're not. And they're not safe for our pets and they are causing problems. So we want to make sure that you are keeping them safe. Oh, I forgot that I wrote this. This is Annie. This is my husband's doggie who unfortunately has passed, but this is one of my favorite cleaners that I was talking about. And this whole bottle is like, I don't even remember, somewhere around $10, but this is a concentrate. So you get, I think it's 16 of the glass bottles filled with that one little one. So this is very important. And then here's my doggy DIYs. This is Annie again. She's so cute. So Leah, this is what we were talking about, the ear. So in the case that your dog has an ear infection, this is what I would do to clean the ear. Well, when it has an ear infection, you're cleaning it differently than just a routine clean. So this is what I would do for specifically an ear infection. Oftentimes you're going to notice an ear infection because they're going to be itching their ears, shaking their head a lot. You're going to see, not always if it's inner ear, but a lot of times you'll see a brown gunk on the outside. But you want to go ahead and mix geranium, frankincense, basil, arbor vitae, copaiba, lavender, and fractionated coconut oil. 10 drops of each of the oils with the 2 tablespoons of fractionated coconut oil in a bowl. You're going to dip the cotton ball, and then it's extremely important that you squeeze out all the liquid, like 100% of the liquid. And then you're going to clean the ear with the cotton ball, like you'll swipe the ear, and then you're going to slowly rest it, just like Blake has in her ear on the right.
Does she have the cotton ball right there in her ear in the picture?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yep. But it's completely wrung out. So you want to make sure that there's no
dripping.
possibility of any coconut oil or oils dripping out of that.
Mm-hmm.
So it's
and
just resting.
How long could she hold it there without removing that from?
I mean, I would let your dog lay as long as it will go, because it might be 5 minutes for some, it might be 5 seconds for another.
Yeah. You bet.
So as long as they'll let you do it, I would keep it there. You never want to force your dog. You always want oils to be a positive experience. So if they want to shake it out of their head, let them shake it out of their head and know that you wiped the ear and then give them a treat. You never, ever, ever want to force them to do it, because once they associate it with something scary, then they no longer will let you use the oils, and that's not a good thing. And we're not looking to create a negative experience with oils. We're looking to create a positive experience with us or with the dogs or with anyone. So it's very important. All right, so here's a recipe for a flea and tick collar. I think I have a lot of recipes on here, so I'll just kind of hover over them and then you guys can, screenshot them and try them. But these, this you can do with either bandana or an extra collar that you might have. And this is something we often see with dogs, especially toward the end of their life, but a lot of dogs are going to have these bumps or masses on them, but you can see the before and after with Blake here. And this is going to be the roller that she used. So 5 drops of myrrh, copaiba, pink pepper, arbor vitae, sandalwood, frankincense, and you're going to apply 2 to 4 times daily. And then here's a great recipe for something that you can do to help support your dog every day. So we call it the daily dog, but morning and night, you're going to do 1 drop of frankincense, copaiba, and turmeric. Again, that morning and night is going to depend on the dog's weight. So Harley and Jackson, who are in this picture, they're going to be around 50 pounds each. And then I've also done just once a day with my dog before, but she's about 40 pounds. So it's going to depend. The Terrazyme, believe it or not, is actually incredibly supportive for your dog. If you want to give the dog Terrazyme, what you're going to do is open the capsule, and then you're going to sprinkle it over the food and throw away the capsule itself. That will be the best way for them to ingest it. And then the IQ Mega, you'll do it in the morning only based on the body weight. And then as needed, like we said, you can apply the Digescent to their belly and their feet, adaptive massaging for calm. So with adaptive, with something that's like, I should say this, with something that's non-ingestible and you're applying it to your dog, I only apply that in areas where they're not going to be able to reach to lick. So like behind the ears, down the back, I know my dog is not going to lick there. I would not necessarily put Adaptive on her paws and then let her lick it because it's not an adjustable oil. Aroma Touch is good for massaging your pups. They need a little loving. So these are some of my favorite references. This book is one, and then there's an updated book, which I will hold up to the screen once you guys can see me. But it's definitely called Essential Oils for Pets Guidebook by Janet Rourke. So that essential oil vet, she is actually a certified vet, and she wrote a book with all her best recipes, and that is another go-to of mine. So I'll show you after. She no longer does oil vet consultations, but she does have this Facebook community that I have up on the screen. And I think it's $5 or $10 a month to join, but you're going to get live Q&As with her. You're going to get all sorts of things. So if you are someone who is going through a lot with your dog, this is going to be a great resource. You can opt in and out of it. And I would really recommend. I get no kickback or anything from it. Don't worry. It's just, I know what a great resource it is. So these are for your top health concerns. So if you want to write them down for you or your dog, then I would text them to Leah, these 3 concerns, and then she'll be able to help you from there. Oops, I have no idea what just happened there. And then there are 3 ways to purchase oils. I'm assuming most people on this call already have oils, but if you don't, I'm just going to leave this with chat with Leah. Go and make sure to text her. And then there are 3 types of people with doTERRA. So one just wants to live the wellness lifestyle. The second, you want to share with your friends, and we have an incredible program where it's refer a friend, and you get to refer your friends and get some of your products for free, which is amazing. And the third way is that you want to actually build a little business and make an income. Or maybe not a little business, maybe it's a big business. Okay, I'm trying to stop. I can't tell if I stopped the recording or if I might have stopped the recording by accident.
I think the recording is still going on. I wanted to close, maybe if you want.
I do want to hold up this book real quick, Leah. This is
sure.
the book, just so people can see. So this is the one I recommend if you are in the market for a great dog guide. I keep it on hand at all times.
There was this new person using essential oils, and we were at her house, and she has 3 dogs, and accidentally we dropped one of the Copaiba bottles, crashed into the floor. Never happened to me, but it was such a hard floor that it just crashed. And I was worried about all the pieces of glass. So we removed everything we could together with a paper towel and so on. And then it was still slippery. And we were just putting some paper towels, to absorb all the oil, and said, oh, my Copaiba in a paper towel. But it was funny that one of the dogs came along and started licking the floor and enjoying the Copaiba, which I loved so much. And well, first it was something the dog was liking, obviously. And then I thought that I had never seen my dog licking after, mopping the floor with whatever we were using in those times when we didn't know about toxicity and oils. And it was funny. So maybe you find your dog licking your whatever you're using, whatever oils you're using now to mop the floor. And it was so funny to see that. So thank you.
I love that. Also, I've dropped so many oil bottles and I've never once broken them. So it's crazy.
Exactly. Same. My experience was the same. It was so weird to see a bottle cracked. But it happened. I don't know.
Wow.
So
wow. Yeah, there are times that I'll apply an oil to me and Marcy just really wants it. She also loves doTERRA lotion for some reason. Just like,
Yeah. Do you know that, just to finish that story, we called customer service and we said, hey, we accidentally broke a new bottle of Copaiba, and they sent a new one just for free.
Aww, they're the best.
Yeah. Yeah.
I love it.
Yep. So I don't know if we have questions. I do have a question from a friend earlier today, and she was worried about her very old doggy with arthritis. And she said, what can I do right now for her? So I guess is the turmeric, copaiba, and frankincense. Do you think it should be on her food or maybe topically or whatever she's feeling the ache?
I would do both.
Mm-hmm.
I would definitely do both. And I would also add
spray.
No spray. I would just put the coconut oil in your hand with the oils and then massage. She can also massage in aroma touch. That will be very good.
Okay. Thank you.
And then internally for sure, turmeric, frankincense, and copaiba. In that case, I would do it twice a day.
Mm-hmm. That's nice. Thank you. Mm-hmm.
Of course.
Do we have any other question, Petra? Any other?
I have a question. Yeah.
Yeah, of course.
Sorry, I cannot see you anymore because somehow I went to safe driving mode and I have no idea how to leave that again.
Oh, okay.
But I'm still listening.
Nice.
No problem.
My dog, a German Shepherd, he has such bad allergies, and I guess it's from the environment. That's what the vet said. I thought it's maybe also from the food, so I changed the food a couple of times. Now I have some food that I like. I hope this is better. But the dog still, he's shedding like crazy. Maybe because it's so hot, but he looks weird. So he looks a little bit like, he also has things like eczemas, so like dermatitis. For human, I would say it's dermatitis because there are a lot of places on his fur or skin that are like hard.
Hot spots?
Yeah, like hot spots. But all over the dog, on his feet, on his back.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, and especially the skin between the fine skin between the legs, where there's not that much fur. On one side, it's red and black. It turned black and red. So of course, it's not. He doesn't feel good. So I gave him medicine from the vet. So he's all the time on medicine. Right now he got this prednisolone. And this is empty right now. So additionally, I put some coconut oil and lavender on his skin, on those spots. Today came helichrysum, so today I added helichrysum.
And I would also add frankincense to that.
And frankincense, okay, yeah.
Frankincense, lavender, helichrysum to the hot spots. And then I would also put, I would give him lavender, lemon, and peppermint. I'm assuming he's more than 50 pounds because he's a German Shepherd, right?
Yes, yeah. About
so
77.
I would do 1 drop of each of those in the morning and then 1 drop of each of those in the afternoon in his food. And then if it's environmental allergies, you can actually also diffuse those for him. So you can diffuse the lavender, lemon, and peppermint.
Okay. I tried that already, and I know he doesn't like it a lot. So he eats his food with long teeth.
Oh, in the food he doesn't like it.
Yeah, lemon, peppermint, and lavender. I did 1 drop of each, and yeah, he didn't like it because he gets dry food, so it's very intense, and he really doesn't like lemon. So I know that because I tried to put it in his water, and he was not drinking it.
I would try it in peanut butter.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I know.
Like put a spoon of peanut butter with that, and then I would try to see if he'll lick it off the spoon. And seeing, you could also start without the lemon and just see if he'll take just the peppermint and lavender. You know, you do want the lemon in there, but it's a start. You know, for him.
Okay. Yeah.
And then definitely topically, I would give him the frankincense, lavender, and helichrysum. Yeah.
Okay.
And you might have to apply it, like if it's really bad, it might have to be at least twice a day, you know?
Yeah.
I would just make a dropper bottle mixed Petra, so that way it's,
Yeah.
for me, it was a lot easier to make the dropper, drop that into my hands. It was already pre-diluted, and then rub it on.
Right. Yeah.
You know, and then just give a treat after. Like you do it and then treat.
Yes.
I do agree with you that a lot of times it comes down to the diet and the food more than anything. So I would, in the worst case scenario, you might want to allergy test him, you know?
Yeah, I
had,
wonder why the vet is never asking or suggesting that.
Yeah, I had to do it with one of my dogs because no matter what I did, he was having bad reactions, and it turned out he was allergic to everything. But it's helpful because you can think you're giving the dog the best food, and if they're allergic to, you know, the food, then it's a problem. So sometimes it's helpful. I have found also allergy dogs do really well in general with fish, more so than anything. So if you haven't tried like a salmon or a fish based food without like no
That's
chicken.
what I have right now. Yeah.
Okay.
That's what I have right now. I think it's chicken is bad for him too. Yeah. That I found out.
Yeah, usually I have found out that flying animals are really bad. So like chicken, turkey, like all that.
Yeah.
And then just check the treats too. Like single ingredient treats will be better.
Right. Right now I do my treats by my own. I do
perfect. That's better.
Pumpkin, peanut butter, and oats.
Oh, that's perfect.
Nice.
Yeah, that's much better.
Yummy.
Yeah, because because the food plays a huge role. You're not wrong. If the salmon doesn't work out and he's still having the issues, because obviously you want to get to the root cause of the problem more than anything, I would really ask for an allergy test.
Yeah.
Have you tried Terrazyme for him?
Yes, but not consistently.
Yeah, if you're going to do Terrazyme, you have to do it consistent.
Yeah, I can do that.
Yeah, but this digestion will be different than allergies. Usually with digestion issues, you're going to see like the poops aren't solid, or he's farting a lot, or you know.
Yeah, I mean, he had problems like that too, really bad. There was even blood in this stool, but yeah, we got rid of that. And
that's good.
the salmon food, I think he is digesting it good.
Yeah, ever since I had an allergy dog, it was Hunter who was the allergy one. I really only give my dogs, like Marzi's on a strict salmon diet. I only do fish-based foods because I learned that they're the most, I don't know, they're just the best for them. But also, I will say that I had this weird experience, Petra, with a fish treat. I was giving Marzi these single ingredient salmon treats, and she started getting a rash on her stomach, and I just thought that was so strange. And of course the vet was like, this isn't food, and I'm like, I think it is. So I took her off, and the only ingredient in there was salmon. Did all this research, and I learned that even though it was salmon and she was eating salmon no problem, that sometimes it's the way that the company processes the food. So I switched to a different company and she was fine. So they still use something to dry out the food and process it, even if it's one ingredient. So if that salmon brand doesn't work, you can always switch to another salmon brand too, you know?
Right. Yeah.
And see. So it's very stressful because the dogs can't talk.
Right. Yeah. You don't see if they have. Sorry?
Greenies, the little sticks.
Because I would not give those.
No.
Puts the oils in there and then the peanut butter.
No.
It's a doggy with no allergies.
I would not give greenies because they're heavily processed, but I have a recipe for like where you can make your own pill pockets if you need, and it sounds like it's with what you're already using, Petra, but I would mix like the oat flour with, you can mix it with a little bit of like almond milk and peanut butter, and then it'll form like you can just form one on your own.
Yeah, sounds good.
But I would not give greenies, Leah, in general, because they're just so processed, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, that's what I feel too. That's why I've never bought them.
Allison, do you recommend any oils for their teeth, for brushing their teeth?
There are toothpaste recipes. Admittedly, I'm the worst when it comes to brushing Marzi's teeth. I've never been consistent with it. So also, Leah, I'm going to text you right now, and then you can share with Petra the ingredient for the 3-ingredient pill pocket that you can make. There's a
Okay, thank
toothpaste
you.
recipe in this book,
Which book?
the Janet Rourke book. I'm looking for it for you. Oh, also it does have hot spots in here, Petra. It says myrrh, helichrysum,
okay.
frankincense, copaiba, lavender. Diffuse 1 to 2 drops each. Topically dilute 2 drops each in a. I'm gonna just text this to Leah, and then she
Oh,
can
yeah.
send it to you.
Great. Oh, thank you so much.
That might be easier than me reading it out loud.
Yeah. Great.
Nice.
Of course.
We are still recording, by the way.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So
Well,
are you
maybe
looking
somebody needs to hear this. You
Yeah.
wanted toothpaste.
Yeah.
This is where this book is great, because anything you're going to ask is going to most likely be in here. So toothpaste is bentonite clay, baking soda, myrrh, and or peppermint. Oh, I'm sorry, myrrh for cats and peppermint for dogs. And then you're going to mix it together. Use a dab to brush your pet's teeth daily. I would, if you're really going to get into those, like, I would really just get this book, and then you can make as many DIYs as you want, because it's going to go through everything that you can make over for your dog's medicine cabinet. And I've used this in moments where you just need it really fast. I mean, this has paw wax in here, skin soothing spray, respiratory support, flea and tick shampoo, paw soak recipe, skin lumps and bumps, a happy tummy, plaque remover, bad breath spray. So like, even you're asking me about teeth, but there's so many things. There's more than one recipe about teeth in here. So it's very specific, and all different diffuser blends for your dog. And then there's so much more information in this book than I could possibly go over. And I think it might be a $10 book, if even. So if you have a pet, I definitely recommend just getting this, because then you'll be able to go through all the recipes and stuff.
Can you please text the name of the book also to Leah?
Oh,
Yes.
sure. Yes,
Thank you.
definitely. I'll send it right now. Yeah, I would get this though, Petra. You won't regret it, just because there's just so much knowledge in here that
Great.
Janet put in here. And I can't go through every single thing in here because it's so many things, but it's nice to have on hand, because the second something comes up, you have it. It's right there, you know?
Yeah, perfect.
And with the amounts, which is very important, that you need for each pet based on size. So,
Nice.
well,
Well, maybe you should
it.
go into your shelter now. I'm a little scared for you.
Oh my gosh, it went off twice, and it went off again while we were in the middle. Well, you know, because it cut out the headphones. First it goes off on your headphones, and then you hear the neighborhood sirens. I can't believe it that it was happening tonight. It's not even storming right now. So, but it's a tornado. So.
Okay.
Oh my
Hopefully
gosh.
fine. Yeah. Just
Yeah.
into the lake.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Thank you so much, Allison. Thank you.
thank you.
Of course.
Yeah.
Thank you
Of
very
course.
much.
I'm so glad. I hope this helped. Leah, I don't
Absolutely.
oh, I guess I have to stop the recording.